I swear the desert had a heartbeat. I know that sounds crazy, wild, even, but if you'd been where I was that day, standing under the scorching New Mexico sun with nothing but silence stretching miles around, you'd understand. The heat wasn't just heat. It felt alive, and I felt it the moment I touched the stone. My name is Dr. Riley Hart, archaeologist, historian, occasional trouble magnet, and this is the story of how a forgotten piece of America grabbed me by the soul and refused to let go. This is the story that almost erased me, just like it erased the people who came before. The whole mess started with a phone call I wasn't supposed to answer. Dr. Hart, the voice said, we found something. Something old, really old. The caller was Father Miguel, the quiet priest from a tiny mission church outside Santa Fe. I'd helped him years earlier catalog some old Spanish relics. Sweet man, calm energy, zero drama. So why did he sound scared? I drove 3 hours straight through the desert. My Jeep rattling over dusty backroads until that little adobe church appeared like a mirage. When I stepped out, I felt it immediately. No shadows. The sun was blazing, hot enough to fry a steak on the hood of my Jeep, but for some reason the church cast no shadow. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, looked again, still nothing. Father Miguel, I called out, walking toward the entrance. You hiding a giant spotlight somewhere, or is physics taking the day off? He didn't laugh. That's when I knew something was wrong. Inside, the air was cool, unnaturally cool. Old wooden pews lined the room, saints stared down from faded paintings, and candles flickered even though there was no breeze. Riley, Father Miguel whispered, motioning me forward. It's under the church. Under? Priests don't say things like that unless something's seriously off. He handed me an old key and pointed to a trapdoor behind the altar. You'll see it for yourself. The trapdoor groaned open like something ancient had been waiting behind it. A narrow staircase led underground to a small stone room, like a cellar, but colder. Much colder. And there, in the center, lying half-buried in dust and clay, was a stone tablet. But not like any stone tablet I'd ever seen. This one had light running through its cracks. Yes, light. Soft pulses, like a heartbeat, slow, steady, alive. I knelt down, brushing off dirt, and felt a jolt run through me the second my fingers touched the surface. Not pain, not electricity, like someone whispering inside my head. I yanked my hand back. What the hell is this, Father? He shook his head. I don't know, but it's waking up. And he was right. The tablet glowed brighter as I leaned closer. Symbols, curved lines, spirals, shapes I'd never seen, shifted across the surface like they were rearranging themselves. Not written. Alive. Riley, Father Miguel whispered, stepping back, is this Native American? No, I said immediately. It's not any script used on this continent. Not in any age. He stared at me. Then who made it? I exhaled slowly. I think it's older than America. The tablet pulsed again, harder, like it heard me. You know that feeling when you're being watched? That prickling on the back of your neck? Multiply that by 100. That's what the tablet did. When I touched it again, just barely, the world around me dissolved. Gone. Vanished. Suddenly I was standing in a massive underground chamber lit with blue fire. Pillars carved with swirling symbols towered over me. Figures moved around, people, tall, graceful, wearing clothes woven with threads of shimmering metal. And then, boom, a shockwave, screams, flashes of impossible machines collapsing as the ground split open. A voice, deep, ancient, desperate, echoed in my skull. Remember US. Then everything snapped back. I gasped, stumbling backward, landing hard on the stone floor of the church cellar. Father Miguel grabbed my arm. Riley, what did you see? But I couldn't answer, because the truth was impossible. I had seen something buried deeper than American history, something older than the tribes, older than the Clovis people, older than every timeline we've ever accepted. A civilization, a lost one, and their final message, remember us. I packed the tablet into a containment case and drove straight back to my university lab. Along the way, I kept feeling those pulses through the metal case, slow thumps like a heartbeat. Even my Jeep's radio started glitching. Static. Whispers. Once I swear I heard someone say my name. Back at the lab, I ran every test I could, spectroscopy, density scans, thermal imaging. The results made no sense. Age, older than any known human-made object in North America. Material, not rock, not metal, unknown composite. Structure, hollow, something inside was emitting energy. Radiation, safe, but not natural. And the symbols? They weren't random, they were coordinates, patterns, maps, a history book written in light. But to read it, I needed to unlock the entire surface. And something told me it wanted to be unlocked. That night, alone in the lab, I wiped the surface clean and placed my hand on the center. Okay, I whispered. Show me. The tablet responded instantly. Light surged across it, bright enough to fill the entire room. Images spilled out, whole scenes, like a holographic movie. A vast city under red skies. Towers shaped like spirals. Energy flowing through massive rings. People channeling power with their hands. A glowing core beneath the city, alive. Breathing. A voice filled my head again. We were the Pulsekeepers. Pulsekeepers, guardians of energy, of knowledge, of something fundamental. The vision shifted. The sky darkened. Earth shook. The core cracked. Chaos. Screaming. People running through collapsing tunnels. The voice trembled. Save the memory. Before the pulse dies. Then everything went black. I must have passed out, because when I woke up, sunlight was streaming into the lab. Except, the door was open. And 3 men in suits were standing inside. Bad sign. Very bad sign. The one in front flashed a badge. Dr. Hart. We need to talk about the artifact. How did you? He didn't answer. He didn't need to. They knew everything. We're confiscating it, he said, stepping toward the containment case. I blocked him. You can't take it. This is the biggest discovery in nothing, he cut in sharply. This is a matter of national security. National security, classic government line meaning, it's ours now. Shut up. He grabbed the case. The tablet pulsed violently, so hard the lights in the lab flickered. And then, boom, a shockwave blasted the man backward, knocking all 3 agents off their feet. The case cracked open. Light spilled out. The tablet floated into the air and hovered right in front of me. One word burned across its surface. Run. And I did. I drove all the way back to the church. When Father Miguel saw the tablet glowing in my hands, he whispered, Riley, you brought it back to where it was found. No, I said breathlessly. It brought me. The ground began shaking, softly at first, then harder. The church floor split open. A hidden staircase appeared, not made of wood, not stone, metal, smooth, silver metal glowing faintly. We stared at each other. What is this? He whispered. I swallowed. A doorway. We descended. We entered a cavern so huge it made my chest tighten. Pillars of glowing crystal rose into the darkness. Walls shimmered like liquid metal. And in the center, a machine, massive, ancient, a heart made of stone and light. The pulse. The same thing I'd seen in the visions. The same thing that powered their entire civilization. The same thing that caused their downfall. The tablet floated toward it, merged with it, and the entire chamber came alive. Lightning, energy, symbols dancing across every surface. And then, figures appeared, not physical, echoes, holograms, Pulsekeepers, watching us, waiting. One stepped forward, tall, cloaked in shifting light. Eyes glowing softly. Descendant, it said. You found us. Descendant? I whispered. Of who? You carry our memory, the figure said. Our blood flowed through many paths. Some forgotten, some hidden, some in plain sight. I could barely breathe. So what do you want from me? The figure raised a hand. To remember our story. To keep the pulse alive. So humanity does not repeat our fall. The chamber dimmed. The voice softened. We failed. You must not. The machine trembled. Cracks spread across its core. The pulse was dying. If it exploded, the entire region would be wiped off the map. Riley, Father Miguel shouted over the rising energy, we have to get out. But I knew, if we left, the Pulsekeepers' memory would vanish forever. Their entire civilization erased a second time. I can stabilize it, I shouted. The tablet showed me how. I stepped up to the core. Placed my hands where the symbols aligned. Energy surged through me, burning, freezing, lifting me off the ground. The Pulsekeepers' voices filled my skull. Hold, 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 I screamed as the energy ripped through my body. Then, silence. Light faded. The room dimmed. The machine stabilized, and slowly, gently, the Pulsekeepers bowed their heads. "You have done what we could not," the lead figure whispered. "The memory will live." Then they faded into dust. Days passed. Government agents searched for the artifact. The church collapsed in a controlled demolition. The site was labeled unstable ground, restricted from the public, but they found nothing, because the pulse was dormant again. Invisible, protected, and the tablet? It was gone, or so I thought, until one night, weeks later, when I returned to my lab. The lights flickered, the air hummed, and there, sitting on my desk, the tablet, except now it showed only one message: tell our story. So here I am, doing exactly that, because somewhere beneath the sands of America lies a civilization older than time, waiting to be remembered. Waiting for its pulse to be heard again. And now you've heard it too.